Alrighty, so moving right along, what we're going to do in this video is put together our app store. So we're actually going to hook this into our socket.io. I'm going to start off with having our default view. We still are going to have a default view, but I'm going to clear out all this data. I'm also going to go into our game store and set the step to step setup. The reason for that is once we get this app view working, I want to be able to go into a game and see the sets from the server being put into our game setup. All right, so let's do the easy ones first. The easy ones are going to be setting the connection status. So setting the connection status is pretty straightforward. What I'm going to do is, let's see, what kind of action do we have for our set connection status? App connection set. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say, I'm first going to grab our socket from our services. Remember, this object that's passed into the constructor of the stores is the same object that we've specified up here on line 18. So now that we have the socket, we can now extract it out of the services. Then I'm going to say socket on connect, dispatcher emit a dot connection or connection set, I believe, app connection set a status connected, or what did I call that? Connection connected. All right, so connect is a method that comes in from socket.io. Then I'm also going to do reconnecting, disconnect, and reconnect. So reconnecting will set the connection status to reconnecting. Disconnect will set the status to disconnected. And then reconnect. Now reconnect will simply publish a app reconnected. So app connection reconnected event. It's not going to set the connection status. So now what I can do is I can say this connection equals, and I'm simply going to say, I'm going to do a couple interesting things here. I'm going to say dispatcher.onMoney a connection, or what did I call that guy again? App connection set. Then I'm going to say start with socket.connected. Connected is a Boolean on a socket.io socket, determining if it's connected or not. A status connected, or connection connected. Otherwise, a connection disconnected. Then I'm going to say publish replay of 1. Then I'm going to say this connection money dot connect. Now, it's important to understand that this aConnectionMoney.connect is a reactive extensions method. It has nothing to do with the socket connecting to anything. It has to do with the fact that I'm using a connectable observable by using publish replay. Then for this .reconnected, I'm simply going to set this to dispatcher.onMoney a connection reconnected, or reconnected, .publish. I'm not going to do a publish replay here. And then because I published it, I have to do reconnected .connect. And that's it. That's it for the connection. So take a look at that. We'll be coming back to this file in a moment, but I want to see it working. So if I come back over here to my lobby and I refresh, you'll notice that we get app connection set to connected, which is awesome. And if I go into the server and restart the server, which I can restart the server very easily by jumping into any server file, adding some arbitrary white space or something, and then saving it out, and that'll restart the server. Now I can scroll down here and I see app connection set to disconnected, and then to reconnected, and then a reconnected. Notice when the reconnected event comes in, we get another lobby join request, and that's because our lobby component says when you reconnect to send that request again. And then we receive the app connection set to connected, and then we see the merge view again for our app and our user details set. All right, so now let's do the big one, and that's going to be handling our view. So we're going to receive these merge view events, and we want to merge them into an object. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by writing a function in lib And I'm going to create a new folder called stores. And this is going to import observable from RxJS. It's going to import star as a from actions. And it's going to import merge diff from shared diff. Then I'm going to export function create view money, which is going to take in a dispatcher, a view type, and a default view. All right, so some of the syntax is going to be a little tricky. The observable sequence that I'm going to do is going to get a bunch of functions that are going to be invoked using a scan to manipulate the produced value based off of its previous value. So before, let's see. Yeah, let's just do this from top to bottom. I'm going to say const merge view money equals dispatcher dot on money a merge view. Then I'm going to say dot filter v goes in, or a goes into a view equals view type. So this sequence is only going to listen to merge view events that are of the right type that we want. Then I'm going to say map. Now this is important. Map action goes into view goes into merge diff view action.diff. So this is a little funky syntax that going on here. We're writing a function that returns a function. If I wanted to break this out a little bit, I highly encourage people to get used to this syntax. But what I can do is I can break it out a little bit so you can kind of see what's going on. Maybe make it a little bit more obvious by wrapping, instead of using an arrow function, let's say function action, and then it returns a function that takes a view, or the previous view, and then goes ahead and merges it. So we're passing in a function that accepts an action, and then we're passing in another function that's going to accept the previous view, and then we're going to return from that, merging the old view with the diff. I'll leave it like that for now. I would prefer the arrow function syntax, but I'll leave it with the function keyword to make it a little bit more apparent what's going on. Then I'm going to say const reconnect money equals dispatcher dot on money a what is it, app connection reconnected dot map, and then for this I'm going to say empty parentheses goes into default don't know what that was, default view. So the reconnect, when we reconnect, we are going to replace the entire view with the default view. All right? And so unlike this function, which returns a function that actually performs an operation based off the last value, the reconnect doesn't need to accept any parameters because it's just going to replace everything with the default value. All right, now let's do our view. So view money equals observable merge, our merge view, and our reconnect. Then things will get a little weird. I'm going to say dot scan view followed by op. Op goes, or apply op with view followed by empty curlies. Then I'm going to say start with default view, publish replay 1, then view dot connect, return view. So what this will do is this merged observable will be returning functions, right? Because, well, as you can see right here, we're returning functions when we map. All this scan does is it executes all those functions based off the previous value of the view, and then sets that result of that function to the new value of the view. And that's it. But with that, we should be able to jump back into app and finish out our app. So I'm going to scroll up to the top, and I'm going to go ahead and import our the function that we just created, which was create view money from lib stores. Then what I'm going to do is this dot view is no longer going to equal behavior subject. This dot view is going to equal create view, passing in our dispatcher, and then a view app followed by our default view. And there we go. So now we have this observable view that we can hook into, and we can continuously get notified every time it gets updated from the server. All without a whole lot of code, because all the nasty code is in the create view method. But with that out of the way, I should be able to join a game, and as you can see, although the rest of the game data is still garbage, as you can see, I'm getting first edition, second edition, and the first expansion, meaning that merge view is properly setting the view of the application store and dispatching it through reactive extensions to our container component, and then from our container component down to the subcomponents, and then having it render out. So pretty much the rest of our stores are going to basically follow this. So like in the game, we're going to, instead of this view equals new behavior subject, it's going to be this view equals create view money. But we'll do that here later. But with that, we have successfully hooked in the App Store into the client, and we can get notified of connection statuses and all that fun stuff. And so with that, we'll see you guys in the next video.